Alright, we're playing Hardspace Shipbreaker. This is episode 7 of our No Revival run. And last episode we were working on a new type of ship, the Javelin. And we got a little more than halfway done. I'm not familiar enough with this type of ship to do it in one shift. And that's actually going to get harder as we go because there's going to be more hazards. So it's not my favorite type of ship, but I figured we'd try it out and make some money. Continue salvaging existing ship. Let's see if we can finish it up.
Object processed.
Just check our tethers here. We're almost out, so we're going to go ahead and fill up on those before we leave the
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
the hab here, or the master jack.
Thank you for your
Tethers
There
restored.
it is. And just we'll tether ourselves back to the ship. Now most of this is furnace worthy here, that we're interior sections of the ship, but curious about this stuff. That's storage bins. Okay, so this is barge stuff. And computer terminals obviously are. So this is kind of a strange section of the ship to... I don't want to have to tear all this stuff out and throw it in the barge manually. But I'm not sure what the best way to handle this is.
Salvage registered.
Maybe cut a
Transferring
hole in the
credit.
side of the ship. Center section here, because getting these out through the airlock is just, it's going to be a mistake. We'll take all these panels I can get my hands on though.
Salvage
Let's see.
deposit secured. Credits awarded.
We could just try cutting through this section, maybe. I don't like doing this a whole lot. We can manually take off these aluminum walls on the ship. Just want to be careful you don't cut through something valuable on the other side, or even hazardous. Because there could be something like computer terminals on the inside if you're not aware of what's in there. Which is why the scanner can come in handy, that kind of thing. But we were just in there, so we kind of knew what was in there. And now we're just going to yank stuff
Salvage
out of here.
deposit registered. Account credited.
Looks like there's a battery pack. Let's see if we can get this thing free. There we go. Alright.
Salvage deposit
Terminal,
accepted.
or
Credits transferred.
airlock console. This thing's, that table goes to the furnace, and this thing kind of started to get out earlier. Great, now it's really stuck in there. I think we're going to cut off the whole front half of the ship. Let's see where this thing belongs. This is also furnace panels. And is this stuff cuttable? It is. So we're going to cut off the front half of the ship now. Now, because we're in this middle kind of section of the ship where there could be cargo storage. Sometimes there's fuel here, so you gotta be a little careful. But I think we're in good shape, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw this whole thing in the furnace if I can manage it. Try to get a good point. Throw it over there. And I should just tear off the front half of the ship nicely. This ladder is not worth a whole lot, so I don't usually bother with it. Maybe we'll try to get that storage bin out of there, although I doubt it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
It's not quite worth the time. Come on, get out of there. There, we got it. Sometimes I'm even greater than I think I
Salvage
was.
deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Alright, we may do the same with the back half of the ship here. We'll see if we can get this bottom panel off. There's probably another cut point under here. Yep. Tear these off and throw them in the processor. And we're kind of throwing them on the far wall of the processor here because we definitely don't want them to go in the furnace, because they're kind of near the, closer to the furnace than they are the processor when they're in the back of the ship like this. May even give this one a little more help. Get over there. Alright, so we're going to cut off the back section of the ship now, just like we did the front a second ago.
Object accepted Credits deposited.
And we may need some of these parts to get out of there to go to the barge.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Go ahead and cut through this glass here. Might be the most effective way to get some of these interior components out. We have a decent amount of time here because we did take 2
Salvage
shifts on this
registered.
ship.
Transferring credits.
And while that's not ideal, it does make it a good chance to learn about the best way to tear this thing apart.
Salvage secured.
Pipe's not really worth
Account
anything.
credit applied.
It's just kind of in the way. Get in there. Computer terminals are worth a fair amount. You'll see the bar move as you throw one in there. Right there.
Deposit accepted for processing.
It's a moderate sized chunk when you consider how many of them there may or may not be in a given ship.
Salvage deposit confirmed.
Interesting.
Applying credit.
Sometimes you kind of get pieces that are wedged in there and they come out with a little bit of force. And also we got an electrical hazard here going on with these computer terminals in the back there. As you can see, if you get too close to those, they will electrocute you.
Salvage deposit registered.
And while it's not instant death,
Account credited.
it's definitely not something we want to tangle with since we're on a zero or no revival run. I got a few more battery packs in the back here, and then we're going to get those door consoles as well. You don't want to crank these battery packs into anything else either, because that would cause them to become hazardous. They'd start sparking and such. That's the case with most electronics, but batteries are perhaps more dangerous than
Salvage
most.
accepted. Credit applied.
Oh, there's really a lot of electronics in here. Normally I think we'd do this a little more efficiently, but we have the time, so we're going to get every
Salvage
piece.
secured. Applying credit.
Looks like the rest of this can mostly go in the furnace, I think. That's where we're going to send it. Disconnect this center section. So these pod clamps go to the barge, huh?
Warning. Low oxygen levels detected.
Yeah, we can get this thing apart. I don't know if this actually helps. Or if we should just, no, we should do, we should get the barge clamps off. Or the pod clamps, whatever you want to call them. And then we'll throw the whole thing into the processors, which is, I think, where the rest of that frame
Salvage
goes.
secured.
I'll grab some
Credit
oxygen here because we're kind of low, and there's no more pickups left on the ship.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
It looks like that part didn't quite make it to the furnace. It might get sucked in time, but just for expediency, we're going to throw it in. Sometimes you get parts that are
Raw
go somewhere
material
like the barge,
Credits deposited.
and if they've been
Salvage goal achieved.
damaged in some way,
Rewards
they
allocated.
turn into scrap and they go to the furnace. I don't know if they actually give you any money for that though, or if it's sort of like the crash items you find that they're just telling you that they don't go where they used to.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
I don't think we have to be too careful with these pod clamps. Worth a little bit.
Salvage deposit confirmed.
On a much larger
Applying credit.
ship with where there's a lot of cargo and stuff and more valuables, it might be possible to ignore them, or perhaps we should have cut these larger sections off and just tried to throw them in as a group. But since we got the time, we're going to take them apart one at a time.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Again, we have to be a little careful about this if there's something like fuel tanks attached to these pod clamps, which sometimes there is, or perhaps even cargo. Cargo won't explode, but it would be damaged if you are a little too careless about how you cut it.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
That's about everything. Looks like the rest of this goes to the processor. And maybe that center section goes to the furnace. Maybe we will cut these off.
All right,
Split
Cutter.
it up.
You got about 5 minutes to fill your boots. 5 minutes left. Weaver out.
This thing's still attached. I think maybe no. Yeah, we can pull the whole center section out. And that's tethered into the furnace, and this outer section is going to go to the processor. And that should be a shift. Take a second, look for anything we might have missed. It's just floating around. Not really.
Deposit accepted.
Get in there. Tethers are not that valuable, so I don't feel that bad about throwing a few extra on here to get this thing in a little faster. Now with that, we're just going to start heading toward the HAB module. Yeah, see, we only had like almost 4 minutes left. That would have been a real hard teardown in one shift.
Processor
I'm sure there's
deposit
people out there who
accepted.
can do it.
Credits
I'm just
awarded.
not that good with this class yet. And we're going to hit that 5th salvage goal and we'll end the shift.
Final salvage goal reached. All rewards allocated.
Alright, another 5 million there. We got 11 million, I think, for the first half of that ship we did in the other shift. And altogether, you can see the total salvage here. Remaining, that's just scrap that was left in the yard, and then we destroyed some parts of it. It's not a big deal, though, as long as you keep it under this 5th level salvage goal bar. Go ahead and end our shift.
New
So we got
certification level
leveled up to
attained.
laborer.
License level increased.
That'll be good for a few more upgrades. Like I said, at this point in the game, we're just trying to get like quality of life stuff going. A few more tethers. Situation where we don't have to get oxygen
Hello,
every 10
Shipbreaker.
seconds.
This is your morning wake-up call.
Looks like we got a new version of the Atlas. I think this is the largest one that has like 4 engine sections. Yeah, quasar, thruster, 4 of them. All right. Our debt is, we've made a dent in our debt. So we started with $1.25 billion to go, and we've already almost knocked off 50 million. So a little less than that. More like 45 million we knocked off, I think. Which is not too bad. I think this was
Cutter,
shift
I
7,
want to
maybe?
tell you, I'm mighty impressed by you. Remind me of me when I started. All bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Had big dreams of hitting the rails back then. Bought myself one of them classic armadillo rigs. Named the old girl Beulah, after my mother. Told you about my bad revive a while back. Another case of me and technology not getting on, I guess. Bottom line is, this body just ain't fit for flying no more. So, I want to give Beulah to you, Cutter. She ain't in the best of shape, but she'll do good by you. Hell, even a few places around the village that'll fit her out for gate travel, if you're so inclined. Anyway, that's it. She'll do more for you than me now. I'm just happy she's gonna be with somebody that truly appreciates her. Weaver out.
Alright, cool. So he's given us his ship. It isn't delivered yet. In the previous version I saw it kind of sits out here and then you add parts to it to work on it. Which does add some more replay value to the game, I feel like, because As much as I like tearing down the ships, like it's nice to have another element of progress you're making in addition to the certifications and the other things you do in the game. Let's go ahead and get our upgrades going. See what's available. Not too much more. We can get some more range for our cutter, which we don't really care about. Grapple, we definitely want strength. Tether amount's pretty good. We got a decent number of tethers. We could do tether lifetime. That's not high priority either, as neither is durability drain. Let's check out thrusters. We get braking level 2, which is not bad. It means we can go at higher speeds and be able to slow down without worrying about injuring ourselves by colliding with objects. So you can be a little more reckless as we move around the bay. Alright, so if we had more tokens, we're not tokens yet. We're further along our certification than we have extra tokens right now. So we get oxygen capacity too, which we do want. Unlike the recharge module, it is kind of useful. Because this means we have to only add oxygen about one time per shift. And then later, as we get all the upgrades, we should just be able to go the whole shift without it. Scanner, again, we don't have a lot of these. We'll go ahead and get durability, maybe. There are a few tokens left, so it'll take us down to 3. That's fine. All of our stuff's in decent repair. We're going to go ahead and call the shift here. And I'll catch you guys next time.